Joanna of Castile, a woman so powerful yet so misunderstood, her life was a paradox that continues to intrigue historians. Born in the late 15th century, she was the third child of Ferdinand and Isabella, the Catholic monarchs of Spain. Joanna's early life was marked by the privileges of royalty and a rigorous education designed to prepare her for a life of leadership. Yet, in the world of royal politics, personal desires often took a backseat to alliances and power plays. This was the case when Joanna was married off to Philip the Handsome, Duke of Burgundy. Their union was not born out of love, but out of political necessity. It was a strategic move, an alliance designed to strengthen the power of their respective families. Joanna's life, though born into privilege and power, was not a bed of roses as one might think. Joanna ascended to the throne, but her reign was far from peaceful. From the moment she took the crown, a whirlwind of political chaos and personal tragedy threatened to consume her. One of the most significant blows was the untimely death of her beloved husband in 1506, an event that hurled her into a deep abyss of grief. Joanna's sorrow was exploited by the two men who should have been her pillars of support, her father, Ferdinand, and her son, Charles. They played a dangerous game, using her alleged insanity as a pawn to seize her power. Ferdinand, the cunning fox, manipulated the situation to his advantage, while Charles, eager to follow his grandfather's footsteps, didn't hesitate to undermine his mother's authority. Their actions, cloaked in the guise of concern, were nothing short of a betrayal. Joanna's reign was marked by strife and betrayal from those closest to her. Was Joanna truly mad, or was it a ruse concocted to rob her of her power? This question has been a point of contention among historians for centuries. Joanna of Castile, a queen who reigned from the late 15th to the early 16th century, has been the subject of conflicting narratives. Some accounts paint a picture of a woman driven to insanity by the pressures of her position. They tell tales of erratic behavior and emotional instability, suggesting that Joanna was unfit to rule. On the other hand, there are those who argue that these stories were merely political propaganda, designed to justify the usurpation of Joanna's power. These differing narratives make it difficult to reach a definitive conclusion. Was Joanna truly mad, or was she the victim of a grand political conspiracy? The answer remains elusive. And so, the mystery of Joanna's sanity remains one of the most fascinating puzzles of her life. Joanna's final years were as tragic as they were controversial. Confined in Tordesillas by her own son Charles, Joanna lived in isolation, a queen in a castle that had become her prison. The once vibrant and intelligent woman was now a shadow of her former self. Her days marked not by royal duties, but by the cold stone walls of her confinement. Her death in 1555 marked the end of an era in Spanish history. The Habsburg dynasty, which she had helped establish through her marriage to Philip the Handsome, would continue to rule, but without Joanna, the last of the Trastamara dynasty. Her death not only ended a bloodline but also marked the final act in a life filled with controversy and tragedy. Joanna of Castile, a queen who lived in the shadows of her own reign, died as she lived, surrounded by intrigue and mystery.